Thank you. I don't mean to offend any of my Southern clergy friends, but I have it from a very high order, not quite as high as God, but my wife. That's pretty high. That this needs to be very short, so let us pray. Gracious God, we say thank you, not only for this day, but for every day. And in this day, though, in particular, for the love of Ann and Teddy. We ask that you bless them now and always with patience, perseverance, persistence, hope, and love. And we do this in Christ's name. Amen.
Well, I'm Sean Canary, the father of the groom and the best man, which I'm very proud of. And I wanted to thank you all for coming. I know it's not easy for a lot of you. It's a long trip, and we really appreciate you making the effort to get here and celebrate Teddy and Ann. I also want to thank Ann's parents, Rita and Bill Wells, who've done such a great job putting this wedding party together. And it's been great fun for Kathy and me to get to know you during the process, and so thank you. And I also want to thank the Greenbrier Farms folks. I think they've done a beautiful job here, and the food so far is delicious, and they always do a great job. So thank you to Amy and the staff here. And as a tradition for me at rehearsal dinners, it's customary to make a toast or say something. So if anyone would like to do that during the course of the meal, you're welcome to do that. We have a second wave coming, so now's kind of the time to do that if you like. And so I'll get started with my toast. When I first met Teddy, he was totally naked. He's screaming his head off. I said, this is a wild, crazy guy. But we all know that's not true. Teddy was actually a very good infant. He slept regularly and ate very well, and grew into a nice boy with a great bunch of friends, all good guys. No major arrests, I don't think, during growing up. And as we know, he's grown into a great man that Kathy and I are very proud of. And we always wanted the best for Teddy and every happiness. And so when he met Ann, Kathy, don't do it. We were very excited and happy because we knew with Ann he had found the best. So here's to Teddy and Ann and all happiness.
Thinking about the toast, what was the first memory of Teddy? It was basketball. And Ted, there are just so many different memories that I wrote down that I just kind of wanted to list off in a bullet point fashion. Our old Quiz Bowl days when my mom was a teacher, and Quiz Bowl is just kind of like the little trivia time, kind of like Jeopardy going. But Teddy and I loved doing that. And thinking about all the high school days, hanging out in your truck, jamming The Who or Dave Matthews or whoever it was, Teddy was always the guy who was getting everybody together and having a great time. He's such a great friend. I was thinking about that one of your best qualities is keeping up with us throughout all the different stages of our life. High school, college, going into postgraduate, and now we're 30, coming up on 25 years of being friends. And so you really are one of our best friends, and we love you. And Ann, we love you too. We really, I can't phrase it any better than what Sean did, that it's the best. And so we're so excited for y'all and to celebrate y'all this weekend. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So cheers to Teddy and Ann.
To those of you that don't know me, I'm Teddy's little sister. And to those of you who do, still probably know me as Teddy's little sister. Whoever here was around in October, you heard Teddy talk about a time that I walked into a basketball game by myself to watch the game while simultaneously probably embarrassing Teddy. But what he didn't mention is why I walked into that game by myself. Yes, I was a relatively independent 14-year-old, but at the same time, I also would have done anything to have people think of me as highly as they thought of Teddy. I would do anything to be just like Teddy. He joined the band, I joined the color guard. Teddy helped create a whole student section for basketball, got featured on ESPN, and they're making a movie about it. I could barely have a friend come with me to any of these games. He had pretty big house parties when my parents were out of town, complete with valet parking. I'm really sorry about that, but I attempted having parties, but never succeeded. Teddy had a final supper his senior year with a lot of the people here, and I had 4 people at mine. He took me to Dave Matthews concerts. I still go to this day. Teddy got engaged, and I also got engaged about 4 days later. I always wanted to be just like Teddy, but could never really quite nail it. The one thing we did have in common, though, was great friends and a great relationship. There's really a very unique group of people at this wedding who are Teddy and Ann's friends and have been their friends for well over 20 years, which I think is a pretty great testimony to their loyalty and their love for their friends and each other. It's a pretty great love story that's evolved over the past 4, 5, 6 years and has brought hundreds of people under one roof, and so I'm so excited for you both, and Teddy, I can hardly look at you.
All right, I'm one more. First, Sean and Kathy, thank you for having us tonight. This is beautiful. It's just nice to gather so many friends that I've heard about over the years, so thank you. I'm Ellen Harrison. I grew up with Ann. We went to high school together, so I kind of know all the good stories, all the funny stories too. So find me later if you want to hear those. But for now, I'm just going to tell kind of the story of when I heard Ann tell me about Teddy, and it's kind of a sweet story. Like when I think about Ann and Teddy's relationship, like most of the time there's like the highs and the lows, and you have some of the people like break up 4 times over the years, and they just have this confidence the whole time they've been dating. That's just the word I think about when I think about their relationship over the last 6 years. And so when Ann first called me to tell me about this guy named Teddy, her voice gets a little bit higher when she talks about him, and you could just kind of hear her smiling on the other end of the phone, and you can just hear this like, I'm confident about this guy. I like him. I know he likes me. I know that this is gonna be something. So I guess about 4 years ago, so Ann and I have also been planning both of our weddings for about 15 years too. Like we've known when it was gonna be, where it was gonna be, our rings, we've had them picked out for years and years. So Ann's always wanted a very unique engagement ring, something vintage, something very personalized, something very her. So about 4 years ago, I'm kind of being the like meddling friend in the middle. And I decided, hey, I don't know if Teddy's gonna, know what she wants. Like, I mean, it's pretty specific. And so I texted Teddy and I was like, hey, I really know what Ann wants. So if he wants to help picking out her ring, let me know. I'm happy to help, thinking like most guys, he would jump at the chance for like a little help. And Teddy was like, nope, I'm good, I got this. Like he just knew Ann so well. And that's that confidence piece of their relationship of he just knew exactly what she wanted. And if you look at her engagement ring, it's so her and it's so perfect. And he just knows her forward and back. And so I think that's that confidence piece I see in the relationship. And so standing up there tomorrow, that's my confidence piece. So yeah, so that's why we're all here. The confidence in y'all's love, and y'all will make it.
So for those of you who don't know, I'm Ann's friend Emily. We never went to school together, which is kind of weird to think about. We met through mutual friends years ago, and I'm happy to be one of her bridesmaids. We've seen each other through a lot of stages in life, and I love to see how happy Ted makes you, and I'm so happy to be with you for this part. So I wanted to share a quick little poem that I just find so beautiful, and I think it really embodies the two of you. Nothing is more practical than finding God, than falling in love in a quite absolute final way. What you are in love with, what seizes your imagination, will affect everything. It will decide what will get you out of bed in the morning, what you do with your evenings, how you spend your weekends, what you read, whom you know, what breaks your heart, and what amazes you with joy and gratitude. Fall in love, stay in love, and it will decide everything. To Ann and Teddy and their love, cheers.
So somehow I've managed to make it 29 years, having only given one speech ever before, and that was at a funeral. So we're moving in the right direction, and I knew I'd be due for this moment at some point. I'd like to start by thanking the Canary and Wells family for putting on this weekend's events. Having gotten married less than 2 years ago, my appreciation for all the work put into wedding planning holds strong. Ted and I met at Somerville Elementary School and played many years of YMCA soccer together. Even though we ended up going to different middle schools, our friendship continued through. I remember Teddy going through a puka shell necklace phase late in middle school, which made me rethink some things. However, I'm grateful he's since moved on from that trend. Ted and I spent many Friday nights lost in Blockbuster looking for the perfect movie or Nintendo 64 game. But don't worry, I could always find Teddy amid the maze of games and videos from the clinking of his puka shells. Going into our high school years, Teddy was the first person in our friend group to discover YouTube. Since that moment, I can assure you, we have both given up countless hours watching videos that have added absolutely no value to our lives. So thank you for that, Teddy. One of my favorite qualities about Ted has been his ability to tell a damn good story. No matter how many times Ted has told me about his experience at the Masters tournament, I still continue to ask him what it was like to eat a Masters pimento cheese sandwich, just so that I can enjoy his storytelling all again. One of the funniest interactions to watch between Ted and Ann is when Ann begins to tell a story that might not be fully up to Ted's epic storytelling standards. Ted will bite his tongue for a minute or two until inevitably asking Ann if he can take over the rest of the story. Rather than getting annoyed, Ann would always let Teddy take the reins. Sweet Ann. I've had the opportunity of getting to know Ann better due to the fact that she and my wife were roommates in Greenville for a year. One of the first things I noticed about Ann is how she will laugh at pretty much any joke thrown out there, no matter how bad it is. This was a great thing to discover, being the bad joke teller that I am. Ann's happy-go-lucky view on life should remind us all to enjoy living in the moment and not get caught up in the little things. Ted and Ann, we are here for you this weekend. We support you, we love you, and we know that will have a long and fruitful marriage. Tonight you sit here as two individuals, and tomorrow you will be forever joined as one unit. As the book of Romans says in chapter 10, be devoted to one another in love, honor one another above yourselves. Here's to many years of health and happiness. To the future, Ted and Ann Canary. Hear, hear.
I'm Ann's super nice and sometimes annoying sister, but we're siblings, so that's okay. When I see Teddy and Ann together, their love glows. They are perfect. They are the perfect example of what true love is, which is, I know, 1000% cliche, but in reality, it's the truth. Teddy not only gives his heart to Ann, he has given his heart to us, my entire family, mom, dad, aunts, and uncles. When I first heard about Teddy, I thought it was going to be another boyfriend in Ann's life. He comes and goes. 14-year-old self thought that. 14-year-old me. However, my opinion changed the second I met him. He was different and super nice. Teddy might remember how we first met. My opinion about him changed entirely from just a boyfriend to a totally awesome boyfriend, because I hold Teddy responsible for contributing a lot more to my caffeine addiction, because the first time I ever met him, he introduces himself and I say, "Hi, I like Starbucks," as I was holding my venti mocha frappuccino in my hand. The very next visit, he gave me a gift card. That moment, I knew 14-year-old me approved of him because he loves Ann and he could deal me some Starbucks gift cards on the side. As time went on, their love grew stronger. Teddy's always been around to help my family during the good and bad. I knew that Teddy was the real deal when our grandparents, Nana and Papa, sadly passed away back in 2016 to 2017. During those tough times, he cared and supported us.
by bringing us over delicious food that he cooked himself. For me, that shows that he'll do anything for Ann and us, and he'll always help out any way he can. I know that it's sad that Nana and Papa aren't here with us today, but Ann, I know that they're here, and they're happy for you and Teddy. I sense their presence, and I know up in heaven, Nana's probably crying tears of happiness, while Papa says, I'm proud of you, Annie, Rooney, Fresh and Fruity, because my Papa always had nicknames for everyone. I'll always support you guys. I love you both, and I can't wait for the new chapter you two will write together. So cheers.
I'm Doug Holt, and I am married to Susie, who is Teddy's godmother, and the oldest of the Canary clan, one of 9 children. I thought I came from a big family of 4 until I met her. And being the first one to marry into this group, there was no one there to warn me about what I was getting into. But to Ann and Teddy, you're about to embark on the most important adventure of your life. And so I just would like to say, here's to you both. May your marriage become the most wonderful adventure of your lives.
I'm Frank Roberts. My wife and I, Sharon, are great friends of Sean and Kathy, and I'm Teddy's friend too, and Ann's as well. Tonight, everybody's been talking about, Teddy was born, and then, the stories and all the history. I just want to bring you up to date. I had to take Sharon and Abby to a lingerie store today, and I'm sitting in the parking lot, and I'm reading my phone. I didn't go in, and Sharon comes back out. Did you see Ann? No, I didn't see Ann. Oh, she says, Ann was in there. She had a whole shopping bag full of stuff. No, she says, so you're up to date.
Well, first of all, after the last 2 or 3 minutes, one thing you can't really choose your own family. I mean, that's little Ann and stuff. I just wanted to take this is not my speech. I have a speech tomorrow, so you may all want to kind of hang out there with it. Redford has looked into some things about being it, and everyone wants to be in it. But anyway, I just wanted to say thanks so much to the Canaries for setting this thing up, and certainly the group and the families here, and the fact that we're all one family is what makes the city and the mountains, and it's just beautiful here. And I wanted to say thank you for all of you for being here and honoring Ann and Teddy with their long-term journey that's going to be awesome. Thank you all very much.
My name is Elizabeth, and I am the aunt. So some of y'all have probably heard this story, and if you have, I'm sorry, I'm going to repeat it. But I was at a Clemson football game with my sorority sisters, one of whom is Karen Thompson, Harrison Thompson's mother. And we were sitting around tailgating, and Ann was at the game with a new boyfriend. And I said, Ann, I want you to come over and so we can tailgate together. And she was like, okay, so we're texting each other. Meanwhile, Karen says to me, Harrison comes over to meet Karen and says, we're waiting on his friend Teddy to come over. And I went, that's kind of weird. You don't hear that name very often. And I think Ann is dating a guy named Teddy. And so I said, Karen, I think Teddy may be dating, but before this, she said, we're waiting to meet Teddy's new girlfriend, and she better not hurt him. And we were like, whoa, okay, this must be some big guy here. So Meanwhile, they're texting back and forth. Anne's texting with me. Teddy's texting with Harrison. And I said, I think that Teddy may be dating my niece. And Harrison goes, well, let's look it up on Facebook. I can tell you what her name is. So Harrison looked it up. He goes, Ann Wells. I'm like, that's my niece. Karen goes, oh my gosh! This is awesome. I've got to call Kathy right now. And she picked up the phone and called Kathy and said, Ann's awesome. She's from a great family. You're going to love her. Meanwhile, they make their way over to us, and that's how I met Teddy for the first time. So, Teddy, we love you. We're so happy to have you in the family, and I've never seen you happier. And here's to a long, happy life and marriage for the two of them.
Hey, how are y'all? I'm Kinsey McMillan, one of the groomsmen. I promise I don't like public speaking or talking about feelings, so I'll keep this as short as possible. I've known Teddy for a very long time. Unlike these other groomsmen, I got to go to middle school with him. And that was a very different experience from what we were used to. We were really fortunate to have a very sheltered elementary school, and we went to a place where we were very, very different. It was very foundational. If you looked at our Spotify playlist, it is basically based on Austin Middle School. And it was weird. We were the only two people who knew each other, and Teddy took to it right away. Like, he always makes friends. Me having a girl's name and a bowl cut I didn't take to it quite so well. So instead of being a middle schooler, Teddy kind of dragged me along and made sure I sort of made friends until puberty finally hit me and the hormones caught up. So that's just who Teddy is. So thanks for Teddy and thanks for hormones. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Ann, the most important person here. I was trying to think of a story like the first time I met you guys or like our first big thing, and I really couldn't. So I think in this phase of y'all's lives, I can't think of you two apart, and I really can't think of a better compliment for you guys. So cheers to y'all. Thanks to everyone for being here, and let's get it.
We're just kind of wrapping things up. I think the next wave of people are coming, and Anna and I have to take advantage of this perfect light and take some photos. So I just wanted to say thank you. I'll tell a quick story. Ann and I had our first date here, and the meal is unbelievable. The food is so good, and the day that we were here, they were serving beef tongue and pig feet, and that's not a joke. And Ann, we had just been dating. We'd been, out with some bigger groups. It's the first thing we did, the two of us. And Ann goes right up. I love beef tongue. I love makes a big plate. And I was like, wow, she's a very adventurous girl. I think I might like her. This is so great. And maybe a year later, we're back here again, and we're talking to each other, and we had this strange moment of, you didn't like that big beef tongue, did you? And Ann said, no, I hated it. And so, in that moment, we had this big belly laugh, and I knew, love was really the word at that point instead of just like, so that was funny and a special place that this is. So just want to thank you guys. My heart is as full as it can get, and you guys are the ones that fill it up the most. So thank you, and look forward to continuing to celebrate. The hard part's over. This is great. Thank you.